kodu ayekwawu ode to dwa a wakan ya abedane asem bebre wo ho a amanfo so no abasane esre se ono de se bio se ne tie bia no man Ghana no ekuro no MPP for we knew man we knew they are not going to hand over power pacho obi ka efa.
Yeah, Dr. Ren, I think it's really, really embarrassing. And you see, this is Omaya. These are characters. Sabi, yes, I said the beer, so they are showmansa. And you see, sometimes, also said or mind you see corner. You look at the psyche of the people are put to in a very sensitive places and positions. This guy, ya say, and you'll be a ignorant person. There's somebody, why national security, your friend saying, minister the presidency. Abra, I was to West Wagon when you see, you know, the same night course, no, he was part of it. And see, Sanipa way back on Tino can't and send say we can't just ignore it. And you see, Onwa admitted in the video, and Obababon said, last year he made a similar comment. I'm a Ghana for sorry, car said.
Rainbow Radio live 92.4 FM and DAB+.
Abusia guso ene ora Ivan Acheampong komo say na no
comment na okan any reckless to act in that particular regard, but in the next similar infantile childish reckless comment again because okan no obia amfa anya no hwe going into 2024 election. I always say the stakes are quite high because of what Ghanaians have witnessed over the years, and there are Ghanaians who are willing to die than to sit and watch. Said somebody will manipulate the upcoming elections to favor whoever. There are people who are willing to do that. Kwame Nkrumah can say be or say Ghana for who they look like they but when they OSCD limiter, then you know say Ghana for are not your friends are cowards and that kind of Nipo Musu Asem. Because this is the same country and in the past, you know, every 2 years and every 3 years, be another witness a bloody coup. Say. And so that is the kind of history. So Ghanaians are not coward. So when you're Kenya, now you do what is right. Hoping say going into the elections, you know, based on things that you have done, people will vote for you and then you retain power. That is the best that you can do. But to go out there on a menacing spree, talking nonsense like this, oh, yeah, we're in power now. And you see, it's something that has been rehearsed among them. There was this guy sitting at the Flagstaff House. I'm also my friend, your friend is saying, I bet Kobe or something. He took a stage and make similar pronouncements. Oh, no power near there. Now, and yada saw the power the movie. And I'm saying, we in the power winning Yansa. Now, Kaiser Rollins be there could for 20 good years and that was a trainer or a form. Or no crown and cast on for power movie. Now, what power now? What title honor? Oh, can't you Ghana for say? Say Ghana for legitimately exercise their power, the 2 me more beer. What? And then Nipana or Kasana Dr. Ren. So what Shana? Assembly, hey, Krumanas will be a Ghana, a full of one and him.
Lord Comey.
Oh, he can't even run to save himself. This is the guy. Assembly Krumanas are one with Ghana. He cannot even save himself. This is the guy out there telling people that or no 2 million or mobia. Then Bryan Acheampong comes in to say the same thing because was so West Wagon. Sabian some phone would this someone and the brain behind it, you know. Nobody did that thing to him. So he thinks a business as usual. Going into 2024 elections, you know, they can do the same thing. And 2020 elections, they did the same thing. And I'm telling you, sir, going into 2024 elections, the stakes are high. Ghanaians are really ready for the West. So if anybody somewhere is contemplating, say Ghana for 2 abamount, not legitimately winner, or be any issue, and then their power no better. But in a situation where you think you can massage, manipulate, and use state power and state resources, I would manipulate elections, you know, to your advantage there. That's what I'm telling you. So there are Ghanaians who are willing to ensure, say, their vote will be counted and they'll be willing to die for it than to allow anybody to manipulate elections for their favor. Because the same I'm not saying, among for economic life are on the line. Among for social life are on the line. And then even your cultural life is on the line with this LGBTQ president own signing. You think Ghanaians will sit down and watch their society move into disarray? No. About one, you should be prepared. Elections, democracy na yewo. Ghana for to abama wa he. Obia ye koto abana ese baumia na wene legitimately. Nobody will protest. Say koto abana ese akuyadonkwa na wene legitimately. Obia protest. Ye koto abana ese Mahama na wene legitimately. Nobody will protest. If it is legit, but if it through illegitimate means, trust me, you can't sit in this country. And soldier for police for now who are more around thinking say you can use them to bully your way through. No, trust me. Eto there, soldier for nankasa bepiane. Eto there, not as citizens no rise here. The soldiers will run away from this country because okay, Togo. I'm sure you saw it.
Yeah.
Abra citizens no sorry, soldier for to na a man eji from some. Soldier for to na a man because how many people can you kill? So you see, such a extreme situation, we cannot get there. And when you have people in sensitive, high power position making such silly, stupid comments in public space, some of these things, you can even sit at your private space with your political colleagues, with your other way, you discuss some of these things in private. But to have the effrontery and the temerity to stand in a public platform and make such pronouncements, I will not hand over power. As if the power near audio. And I'm because we in for so even Rollins is dead. That guy was in power for 19 good years. And you've been in power for 8 good years. You think Ghana no Kwame Nkrumah about to the Ghana Niger Hoko. How much boy this tiny fry? A
free from in our crack.
A free fan almost a Ghana Krum Kusakusi and when you know, you see, and I'm sure say Nipa na yedi to me money and Nipa do one minute. We give position to people because we think, oh, my MPP for to the other, my NDC for say, we don't look at intelligence, we don't look at the person's level of thinking, we don't look at the kind of competence that Nipanwa offer. Because you can't say Nugum, sir, because at this time, if you look at the stakes, we are going into an election where even the opposition parties have expressed deep concerns about the credibility of the Electoral Commission.
Yeah.
And who will be a winner for? Okay, same way, then it comes to affirm that conviction among forward that the Electoral Commission is in bed with government. That is the reason why a minister of state can have the infantry to be making such reckless, irresponsible comments in public space. So I think that some of these things, that is the kind of society we've created, a lawless society over the years, because it happened once, nobody did a thing. We went to the election, 8 people died. Nobody did a thing. So in his twisted head, he thinks they're going into 2024 elections, say 10 people who are there in the BC. But you see, say Ghana for seem to be very patient people. But look at where we are today, every single Ghanaian has been pushed to the social limit. Every single Ghanaian have been pushed to the economic limit. Every single Ghanaian has been pushed to the cultural limit. And they will do anything to save themselves. And that is what makes the 2024 elections very crucial. So going into the elections, do your campaign, the message that you have, go and sell it. Try to convince people if they vote for you legitimately, you can win power. But in a set me fa particular so nipa na to abama me. Na man it's never going to happen. That is what I'm saying. That these guys talking, they are all cowards. They are a bunch of cowards. Because as a coward, you need to scream for some of these things. But onim the oil, you don't even talk. You don't even talk because you know, say when it gets there, what has to be done will be done. So some of these things, the only way I understand the kind of public impression I create and tension other way because
unnecessary tension.
As some of the say Pablo and other people on the other side is so ready so quick to be gummin as a form.
A friend say George Opare asem kra wono ekan NDC wo mo George Opare Pablo wono so asema wo kan after Owura Bryan Acheampong.
So we need to hand over. So my Messiah, the Bush of Penitentiary, I bet you over to the foot. Saturday, do on so your Bema, what's the fam?
Nti uti de Pablo ekana oseso ma metiase a wo muntu nefo na sebio wonya eno obi kra ka se ono ankasa kra no eye abetifi we see eye say Rock City as a day is one of the biggest hotels in Africa or as a West Africa. Now nipa say all make such utterances. The question here they say sebio, I mean, I don't know. Ofa eye the Ghana Police Service any the armed forces. O kan wo nyina bomu a omun do 250,000 personnel.
Oh, and I work actually.
Who can woman in album cry 190,000 woman do. And your Ghana armed forces, any your police in our come woman.
Yeah.
Now we'll share the number of people who voting. Now we'll share 2020 election. Greater Accra, a year NDC, won the presidential seat than the MPP. In terms of even numbers, there are people who are more affiliated to the MPP political, the NDC political party. One more a year Greater Accra, and you wonder why a whole minister of state will make such utterances.
Dr. Ryan, I've been from and America. When given the platform, you will not make such reckless, irresponsible comments, knowing what is at stake. You won't do that. But you see, these are minds, these are people you expected. These are panifo, but these are kids. Your friends are kids' brain sitting in old body. And the okasa of home. Go you be a sabi, penina way no penny drinking that with him. When you are talking, sabi, over size certain reservations. Hey, I said we are making a creative tension and I said for no. Now, saying that people will even see what is coming. But without reservation, without anything, or boom, 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 boom. And you see, it was deliberate. Because he made reference to the fact that, or can the same thing last year. Yeah. And he's repeating same. So it's a conscious kind of something that has been rehearsed over and over and over. Thinking, say, he can manipulate the elections. But you see, say, I'm for someone to Abamawa. Mekisa, our Senegal. You saw what happened.
Oh, yes.
The guy decided to imprison his political opponent to the extent that my imprison on election. When the people revolted, he was forced to fix the election date. Nipa not go to prison for 11 months, came back from prison, few months, 11 days to elections, and he won the elections. He did all he could to ensure, say, the opposition, because main opposition leader was jailed. The fire young Kasano, or also no, even though he was not convicted. The guy came from prison, he won the elections. That tells you, say, it is the people and they decided who becomes president. And yet, will be a word to me, and I mean, me away. And I'm not catching say, oh, you nipa or Jenny. Now, our Jenny code deep. And I'll make it such a responsible comment, Because these are coward tactics, aware, Sebi, or more air casa, they release pressure from almost. So, for winning, so why you go to elections, I'm for winning election based on a near my wire. So, if you can point to, oh, yeah, way, and for that particular reason, if you say elections, yes, I'm saying to about my quiet near my super. Way. But you're unable to tell people anything. The whole Ashanti regional minister goes to Kumasi on a radio station. They asked him to tell things MPP. The joker was sitting there, couldn't say anything sensible. Then another minister goes to Borare show. They asked him, said the Wabaya or Dobiri. He couldn't say anything sensible on the show. Say, I did when they are in Ashanti region. And with this particular track record, you think people will vote for you? People will not. So get a message, sell it to the people. If you're able to convince them they vote for you, that's fine. But think you can use this rowdy, your friends say ramble on rampage tactics, this Buzili tactics in me, because I have recruited a lot hoodlums into the army, into the police, and they do elections. I can count on them, use them to manipulate the elections. It's a lie. Because my culture said, and the Ghana, every single person has been pushed to the limit. And Ghanaians are ready to do anything to save their country. So they shouldn't dare. They shouldn't just dare. Because Ghanaians have had enough of this whole nonsense. This whole economic turmoil. This whole social, Ghanaians are ready to do everything to rescue their country. If majority of the people decide to vote for MPP, that's fine. But if people decide not to vote for you and you think you can use other means to manipulate the election, me say Ghana, I hear you, baby.
Yentie deɛ wɔkae no.
NDC poll, Omumpo 2024, Abano winning. Now, where we near about Yedimona? Where we near about Yedimona?
Obi so say wɔka say omo wini a yɛmfa ma wɔ mo.
NDC poll, Omumpo 2024, Abano winning. Now, where we near about Yedimona? Where we near about Yedimona?
Iti utie ne nsɛm na utimi sɛ ɛyɛ ade a sɛ bi sɛ ne yawo kan.
Dr. Ryan, who is that? Asamna or cannot be isolated from the previous comment. So Obia all reacted to some of our kind of name, and make it candid reference to the past comment. Because or can say or build it on that comment.
Yeah, and you crumble and I may bought to us now, and then I may bought to us to say, Nasma walk can Ankasa say, or no, dear, and yadia, one more day, Abano Crabema, we shall a year, the previous year, and some of kind, Utia. And yes, Utia or senior dear, omode abato no, enya dear omode power be my DC dear besi, insida. Now we heard the Lord coming, so I can say power ne de na say be breaking the 8 no they want really breaking the 8 be a one more to us nya dear omode power be my DC, which means there are something be aja womangasa no bobo mu etrimu pose 2024 about 20 say e kosen kra no a enya dear omode abato no ebema the new NDC abaino.
Dr. Ren, election obi na demo obi amfa aba mobi. Ghana for na
koto aba.
Exactly. Ghana for na collectively omo koto aba, and who the majority of the people deem fit. Say are not competent enough at a point in time with me handle affairs, Ghana for this we need in some. So, and Yans are some so we look with him because I member to me more be to me than you would yet.
I was saying, Minister of State, Pamua. This is a
Minister of State, and sir, comments like this, whichever way perspective you speak from, because it's a politically sensitive issue, people will put interpretation on it, and how people perceive that whatever meaning there people put on that way, you can control it. So to be responsible enough, you don't create room for such discussions, because at the end of the day, about discussions, about geared towards violence, and this in some way are working. Every single political party be all going to the election will be prepared and will be ready for anything. Because I would hear in some lost come now the Bryan Acheampong. Now share what happened there. I also wagon. Now share the see what 2020 elections are. You must be a fool as a political party and going to this election without preparing. Yes. So in some of they are psychologically telling other parties, prepare, because 2 minutes to the young farmer. Now 2 minutes bit when that's on farmer I am talking this. So oye nyansania na nka otena se dwene sa asem we nko bo musa asem o kan se binyansa anim. Na sa what plan say elections obi win na on fama na e ade ekogina public ne yeka.
Asemo.
Yan ko jira bonti nka. When asem na wo kan no I can create chaos, can cause confusion, can create whole lot political instability. Aban no wo na e sha wonsa. Sesi